Hunter Biden has been indicted on 9 tax-related charges, including 3 felony counts, according to documents filed yesterday in a federal court in Los Angeles. According to federal prosecutors, the president's 53-year-old son, quote, engaged in a 4-year scheme to not pay at least $1.4 million in taxes that he owed from 2016 through 2019. Prosecutors allege that he instead spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on drugs, escorts, and exotic cars. NPR Justice correspondent Ryan Lucas is with us now. So Ryan, the charges are spelled out in a 56-page court document. It's a speaking indictment in that it is extraordinarily detailed. What is the special counsel in this case, David Weiss? What is he alleging?
Well, he's alleging, as you said, that this was a 4-year scheme that Hunter Biden followed in order to not pay some $1.4 million in taxes. He says that Hunter Biden, in essence, cheated his own kind of payroll company and its payroll and tax withholding process in order to not pay these taxes. It says instead he was using this money to pay for various women, to pay for escorts and girlfriends, to pay for luxury cars. There's one instance that's documented in the indictment in which it says that he spent $1,500 on an exotic strip club. There's another instance in which he paid $11,500 on an escort for 2 nights. So the document, as you said, is a speaking document. It provides a lot of detail, a lot of it sorted and salacious into what Hunter Biden was spending his money on over this 4-year period instead of paying his taxes.
And this case was on the verge of being resolved back in July when that plea deal fell apart. And what would have been 2 misdemeanors are now, 6 misdemeanors and 3 felony counts. It raises the question of why the DOJ would have been willing to offer a plea deal in the first place.
This is something that special counsel David Weiss was willing to resolve only 5 months ago in a plea deal in Delaware. It would have resolved 2 misdemeanor counts of tax charges as well as a gun count. And instead, what we have actually is 3 gun charges in Delaware that the special counsel brought earlier this summer. Hunter Biden has pleaded not guilty to those. And what Abby Lowell said last night in response to these new charges is, look, this is all material that the special counsel has had for 5 years, 5 years that he has been investigating Hunter Biden. There's no new evidence, and yet now we have 9 new tax charges.
And we should say this indictment does not allege any connection to or involvement by President Joe Biden. You mentioned Hunter Biden's attorney, Abby Lowell. He also said in the statement, if Hunter's last name was anything other than Biden, the charges in Delaware and now California would not have been brought. Is he right? Would an average citizen face charges like this, especially after, as Hunter Biden did, paid back the taxes?
Well, there certainly are other avenues for resolving cases like this. There are civil procedures that many cases like this are resolved in such a manner. This is up to the Justice Department on how it wants to resolve these cases. And what prosecutors can point to is the fact that there were 4 years in which Hunter Biden was supposed to file taxes, in which he had money, it says, in order to pay these taxes. And instead of doing so, it says he was spending them on personal items, personal expenses that ultimately was money that should have been going to the U.S. government.
What consequences does Hunter Biden face potentially, and do you have a sense of when this case would start?
Well, the Justice Department says that he faces up to 17 years in prison if convicted on all these counts. There's no indication at this point in time when all of this will get underway. His gun case in Delaware is set for a hearing this month. Lowell has said that he intends to file motions to dismiss that case. They are fighting that case, and there's certainly every indication at this point in time that Hunter Biden intends to fight these tax charges as well.
NPR's Ryan Lucas. Ryan, thank you for joining us this evening. We appreciate it.
Thank you.